Should your boss be able to fire you if he thinks you're too fat?
Oh, Lacey, don't make it sound like it was just the guy that one day decided that some of his employees were too fat to be around. Don't do that.
Here we go.
Indeed.
Hey everyone, Lacey here.
Hey.
A few years ago, 2 female waitresses at Borgata Casino in New Jersey were fired for gaining too much weight.
Note that they would also have been fired if they lost too much weight. All employees were expected to stay within plus minus 7 pounds, 3.175 kilograms of the weight they had when they were hired.
22 waitresses then brought a class action lawsuit for weight discrimination. They claimed they were subject to regular weigh-ins at work.
In Japan, they have a law against overweight and the employer is penalized. And they try to make sure that the person regains a healthy weight. Because no, you are not fucking healthy at any size. Now, of course, they also need a law against underweight.
They were made fun of, snorted at, and called pregnant by coworkers.
Really? Were they in elementary school? Sorry if I have a hard time believing that anyone over the age of 15 behaved that way. Because it doesn't fucking happen. Ever. Almost.
They were also advised to use laxatives and stop taking prescription medications to lose weight before weigh-ins.
If it helps and keep their jobs. What's the fucking problem? If your boss told you that you are at risk of not meeting your requirements, wouldn't you like it if she helped you out?
One was even suspended for weight gain caused by asthma medication.
And wheelchaired people can't compete with able-bodied athletes. Life's not fair. Get used to it.
Last week, the waitresses lost the case.
Obviously, discrimination is not illegal if there's good reason for it. Do you want to end the gender discrimination too? That would, for example, mean that you cannot have female-only shelters for people battered by their spouse, female-only gyms, sex-segregated professional sports, sex-segregated toilets, although that may be positive for you since women's toilets are filthy, and sex-segregated changing rooms and showers. And you sure as hell will be expected to fight for your country like all men are expected to. Although why there is such a thing as women-only parking is beyond me. Men are much more likely to be assaulted than women.
What? Why?
Because it's fucking legal. If the employees have agreed to always meet a set of specified beauty standards in their work, they have to meet those standards. Just like you wouldn't expect that an actor would be allowed to drastically change his appearance without approval during a production.
Well, there are no workplace protections against weight discrimination in New Jersey. In fact, Michigan is the only state in America that does offer legal protection.
In this case, the discrimination is justified. But do you think you can put the same restrictions on an office worker or warehouse worker that does not meet any customers or clients? I don't think you are allowed to, for example, reject a job applicant for being too ugly.
The judge also said that it's only illegal if the rule is only for women, because that would be gender discrimination. I mean, clearly, this lawsuit has nothing to do with gender, right?
No, you have not demonstrated that. Men can be fat too, you know. And even if they could not, it would still not be a case of gender discrimination.
Waitressing is one of the few jobs in America where it's not just acceptable, but even sometimes encouraged to treat women as sex objects that you can sexually harass.
Really?
Think of places like Hooters.
Or Tilted Kilt, where I hear men are sexualized too.
In a recent study, 90% of waitresses reported being sexually harassed by a customer.
Does that include men? I'm asking because you said waitressing earlier rather than waiting or serving.
Add asinine beauty standards into the equation and you've got a recipe for disaster.
Care to elaborate? I'm sure that's not men getting horny and fucking their wives more and more drastically increasing the population.
Beauty standards which, by the way, were only applied to the female servers at Borgata.
Hold on a minute. The judge said that weight discrimination would only be illegal if it only applied to women. Obviously that beauty standard applied to men. Get your fucking story straight, Lacey. Sure, you can't be saying that men also had to be skinny, but they did not have to wear makeup such as eyeliner or whatever there was, because that would be fucking retarded. Men and women inherently look different because of something feminists often like to pretend does not exist, biology. And because they inherently look different, they have different beauty standards. For example, female eyes and lips look different from men's and children's. They have longer and fast growing hair, so they like to bring attention to those areas.
The male staff were also required to sign a personal appearance standard contract when they were hired.
You mean they too were not allowed to look like slobs?
But there's no documentation of male employees of the company being disciplined or harassed for their weight.
Perhaps they just keep to the contract. A reasonable thing to do if you want to keep your job. Think about the wage gap. Keep in mind that there were 650 female and 46 male employees. If there was 22 women that were disciplined, and this is an assumption, that correlates to 1.5 men. So you cannot really expect that any men should have been disciplined. Sorry, Lacey, you really need to learn some maths.
Gender aside, how on earth is it legal to advise employees to stop taking their medication?
I could not find which medications that was, but not all medication is actually necessary or associated with health, mental or physical. Without this information, there isn't really much to be commented upon here.
Y'all already know that medications and illnesses can cause weight gain, loss, and fluctuation. In that sense, shouldn't weight be a protected legal class in connection with disability rights?
Disabilities should be protected. Weight should not be protected. Your argument is stupid. If you think people who are fat because of an illness or disability, but not people who are fat simply because they eat too much, should get a job that requires that they are skinny, such as being a model, you're stupid. It's like saying people in wheelchairs should be able to play against able-bodied athletes. Sorry, life's not fair. If you are disabled or ill, you cannot do everything in life. You just cannot. Sorry.
This case shows how prejudice and privilege are institutionalized.
Nope, life is just not fair. Sorry, kid.
At Borgata and many workplaces around the country, male bodies are subject to less scrutiny and their health needs are respected.
Citation needed.
Being f***able is in the rubric that determines if a man can or can't do his job, whereas for women, it's written into the law.
Citation fucking needed.
This is overt at places where women's physical appearance is being monetized.
Get a fucking dictionary. They are not treating appearance as a currency or even selling it. They are just using it as marketing.
But it occurs even when her appearance has nothing to do with the job.
Citation needed for those cases you displayed. Just because women make themselves look good, it does not mean that they have been encouraged to do so by their employer. Just like school children are not encouraged by the principal to look good for the teachers or other pupils.
Sexual objectification is why 1 in 4 women in the country experience workplace harassment.
I never thought of myself as being harassed in the workplace, but if 1 in 4 women have been, I probably have been too. I mean, nowadays, sexual harassment can be anything from shoving your dick in someone suspecting girl's throat to saying good morning.
This affects women not only psychologically, but economically.
You mean they earn more?
The research shows that obese women earn $19,000 per year less on average than average-sized women.
Have you ever thought that obese women perhaps don't work as hard? No, you haven't, have you? And perhaps that earnings gap will help them lose weight and get healthy.
And very thin women earn $22,000 more per year on average.
Good. They need to eat more food.
The Journal of Obesity reports a 66% rise in weight bias over the last 10 years, so these numbers may only grow.
Really? You really think those numbers will grow almost linearly to over 700% in 100 years? No, they will stagnate. They may be strictly growing, but not fucking linearly.
While weight prejudice knows no gender, women do bear the brunt of it. They're 16 times more likely than men to report weight discrimination at work.
Could that be because after the 70th percentile, women are more overweight than men?
And the discrimination tends to kick in earlier, around a BMI of 27, whereas for men it kicks in around 35.
Well, men dislike fat women more. But perhaps that's a good thing. They are motivated earlier to lose weight and get healthy.
So it's hard to completely untangle the issues of weight bias from sexism, which is a connection that a just legal system should have made.
No, we do not need weight discrimination laws, but perhaps we could take a hint from Japan.
Even if the waitresses were functioning as models at Brigada, it doesn't excuse gender double standards,
Of which you did not cite the existence.
putting women's health at risk.
We do not know what medications they were taking. You are making an argument without any information behind it.
And harassing them for weight fluctuations.
Allegedly.
So let me know what you all think down below, and until next time, stay braless. If it weren't for the fact that these are people who could actually lead our country, watching the circus that is the GOP might actually be entertaining.